to that final resting place. And again, that sharp change in direction when it hits the wall. So there you go. So you can see that, you know, it's not traveling much farther, but it's taking longer to actually come to rest, and that helps it to feel a little bit more natural. And you can still play with this. You know, it's still not perfect. You know, it needs a little bit of massaging, but it definitely gives you a better feeling of some of this weight that it's dealing with. What else? All right, collision of the tennis ball now. Let's have the tennis ball impact here. Okay, this is a good time to impact. Now this is what I would do. Choose the moments you want your impacts to happen as you're telling your story, okay? Because you can work backwards from there, okay? But it's a little bit tough to work forwards to the points these impacts happen, sometimes. So this, I said frame 9 is where I basically want the impact to occur. So I'm going to set a key on everything at frame 9. And there's ball 1. I'm basically just going to position it right here. And again, I'm going to intersect the two objects. Letting that happen, even without squash and stretch, will really help you to feel this impact. Okay, so now I'm going to decide, well, where do I want the ball to start from? This is only 9 frames into it, so maybe our tennis ball is coming from somewhere over here, you know, off frame. So in 8 frames, it traverses that really quite large distance to impact our bowling ball. And maybe we don't want it to be quite. Maybe we want something a little different. Where is it? Oops, it's off screen. Where's our ball? Come on, come back. Okay, here we go. So forget that. Let's start it up here instead. So maybe it'll just drop down. Yeah, like that. So, you know, over the course of its fall, maybe it's like here at the halfway point. It's like 25% of its way down, and then the bowling ball hits it. Okay, now this is when you have to start thinking about what does it mean when two objects collide. Okay, when a heavier object collides with a significantly lighter object, the heavier object, or the more massive object, it's not really about weight, it's about mass. The more massive object will most likely continue to move forward without even feeling like it's been stopped. Okay, at the same time, depending on when the collision happens and how much energy is behind that object, you can get a very large force added to the object that's smaller. So in this particular case, my tennis ball is just kind of dropping straight down, but my bowling ball has a lot of sideways energy in the X direction, a lot of it. And also, it's got some upward energy because it's just coming, it's just coming up from its bounce there. So what we're going to get after this impact, we're going to get a ball that's going to shoot out at a very in a very energetic manner. Ooh. Because it's such a massive object that it's hitting, that it's going to cause it to bounce up and back to the side. Now, exactly how much of that, it needs to be, I don't know. We need to experiment a little bit and see what feels right. For the sake of argument, let's start it 6 frames. And I'm going to say that in 6 frames, maybe it hits this wall. And that looks like it's too fast, but who cares? We'll just see what happens. And maybe, actually, if I line, so you can't see this, but I'm laying my pen on my Wacom tablet just to see what the line of action would be. And actually, it looks like it should bounce off that platform more than anything else. It should bounce right about here. But it's not going to take 6 frames to get there. That's going to be really quick. So we're going to make that maybe 3 frames. And then once it gets there, it's going to ricochet off. What happened here? So I don't have a grease pencil, but I do have this pencil curve tool, which can allow you to draw on screen. So basically, you can plan out, the kind of ricochet you might experience here. And what you can do is you can just continue to plot out the general path of this object. Now, it's going to hit this not straight on. There is going to be a bit of a parabola to this, but we can deal with that later. Okay, so I know that this ball is going to be somewhere down here eventually. Maybe there, because it probably arcs here. So I'm choosing that, and then once it hits there, it's going to ricochet down here. Oops, I need a new key for that. It's going to ricochet down here, and then most likely it will ricochet back up again. So the general pattern it will follow will be something like down, down, ding, something like that. Bing, bing, bing. And that's the ground, so the top part will be up here. And then the down position will be down here. Okay, so what I've just done, I'm just trying to plot in my basic storytelling poses here. And that's why I'm just positioning it on 2s. I'm really not paying attention to the timing at this point. I'm just paying attention to the position that I know that I want it to go. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that I can get it where I want to get it and still avoid hitting the bowling ball again. But we'll see. Maybe I won't be able to. Are there any questions yet at this point?
How do you remove the pencil tool stuff afterwards, actually?
Okay, so these are just curves, so you can select them like this. If you go in your outliner, you can see them, they're just down here. Okay, so what I usually do, put them on a layer, say add selected objects, and then you can make them visible or invisible, so you can always call them back if you want to see your plan.
Okay.
Okay. So that's kind of the easiest way to go. Where was I? Okay, so he bounces out. So then, we've got the basic plan for our tennis ball, and I'm not going to finish him just because I probably won't have time for that. But so then you got to get in there and you got to start, figuring out how do all these things actually work together. So let's see, ball 1. I know that I want this collision to happen at frame 9. So I basically have to build it in such a way that it's going to fall down and get there by frame 9. So again, going to my pencil curve tools, if I know that it's here, and this is the distance it has to fall, and I mark my halfway points. Okay, so this is 25% of the distance. We're going to do that in half the time. So that would be here at frame 5. It should be about there. So it's in about the right spot. Now, we want it to drop there. If you had a grease pencil, it's actually easier. Like there's a tool called grease pencil, but this still works. So what I've just done, I've just marked where that thing's going to go. And there. Now I can really kind of figure out where my arc is supposed to be. Pencil.